Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to discuss the meta builds for multiplayer and solo gameplay, and builds that you want to have in your repertoire when you're playing this game. Let's take a look right now how this works. And the first thing you have to understand is when you group up for matchmaking, how the game currently sees it is that if you have a hybrid build, whether you have a DPS and healing build, which is very common for solo play, if you have a tank and DPS build, that's when it sets you up here for what role you want to fulfill. Right now I have the strategic sword and the soul shade umbrella on, so it's going to queue me for healing and DPS. The problem with this is you can't pick which one you want to do. So let's pretend that I just want to be a healer now with this build. It's going to queue me up for both no matter what, and it'll confuse your teammates. Maybe this game you want to be a healer, but it queues you up for DPS, or vice versa. So the best advice I can give you is to use the build manager and save builds that you want to use, but do pure builds for multiplayer. If you want to be a healer this round, do healer. Panacea Fan, Soul Shade Umbrella. Now you queue up for healer, you're going to be a healer. Do pure DPS if you want to be DPS. For tank, you're going to do 2 tank weapons. That is Thundercry Blade and also the Stormbreaker Spear. Then you'll be a pure tank. A lot of these builds synergize with each other, and the beauty is you can pick anything you want, make it work, and make your own unique builds. But for example, my DPS build, very common build that people use, these moves synergize off each other. This inner track slash causes bleeding over time, and then if you swap to spear, this move, Sober Sorrow, the more combos you hit an enemy with, the more buffs you get. And if you have the inner way Wolf Chaser's art, bleeding gives you extra combos that it counts towards. So you see what I mean? So some builds synergize off each other better. Let me show you some details with this, because everyone's going to be picking these 2 martial arts for healer, but what makes my build unique and your build unique is the different inner ways you pick, mystic skills, and gear. The inner ways for this build is Moral Chant. That's going to give you more healing and damage when you do attack the bad guys. Restoring Blossom, dealing critical healing, applies 1 stack of Nurturing for 3 seconds, increasing healing received by 2%. This just ensures that you're staying alive, so you can keep healing. And then Royal Remedy, it increases your Panacea's Fan Water Clone, the Cloudburst healing by 10%. If you're within range, you gain 1 dew each time you receive healing. And then Esoteric Revival makes your revives more powerful. Now there are some others that you could use when you eventually get them. Mending Loom could be one of them. With this build, helps you get more dew, and you can consume the dew for additional healing. But the ones I pick I think are good. Now the gear, I like the Snowflake for the armor, which is Whirl Snow Set. And what this is going to do is also help keep you alive. If you lose more than 40% health of your max HP, or when your HP falls below 20%, the next healing you receive within 5 seconds restores an additional 25% of your max HP. It can trigger once every 60 seconds. This is going to ensure you stay alive, because the worst thing as a healer is if you die. And then my other set is Ivory Bloom. At max HP, which you're going to be keeping your HP at full when you're healing other people, you're healing yourself. You get a bonus 5% chance to do critical healing and damage, and increases the effects of the critical healing and damage by 15%, just more chunky heals. Another great one would be the Rain Whisper set. Increase all critical damage and healing by 10%. Further increase it to 15% when you have an HP shield on. That's another decent one that you could do. So for multiplayer, stick to the single role builds. Now, for solo, the sky is the limit with your mix and match. My two favorites, this is a very common one, Strategic Sword, Panacea Fan, keeps you alive, and you're dishing out damage to enemies. Saves you on building and crafting medicine and using your medicine. But I've found that Soul Shade Umbrella is a little bit better because you can buff your damage and you can have an auto heal umbrella that's healing you constantly for 60 seconds as you're dishing out damage. Now, ideally, I'm working on getting it right now. I don't have it yet, but I want to get the Eagle Rise set for this build and then use Brain Whisper for the other one, because you'll get the HP shield with Eagle Rise. It'll synergize better. Working on that. But in the meanwhile, this umbrella definitely synergizes better with the Strategic Sword. The inner waves for this build, of course, Moral Chant, Restoring Blossom, then Sword Horizon, and Adaptive Steel. This is where I like running with this. For Mystic Skills or any of these, use whatever you like. Whatever ones you like flavored. There's the favorites, Guardian Palm, goes Cloud Steps, Drunken Poet. And then finally, this is a powerhouse for just destroying bosses. Again, you're going to have to heal yourself, but Strategic Sword, Heaven Quaker Spear, the Inner Ways is Moral Chant, Wolf Chaser's Art, Sword Horizon, Adaptive Steel. Very, very powerful. Definitely you want to try these out. This will help make your game better. This will help make you better at the game and make you more powerful. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think down below. What is your favorite build? What is your favorite combos to use? Let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.